This is the Tallahassee Business Podcast, brought to you by the Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce. Before we begin, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Event Owl, who's helping clients across the nation elevate virtual, hybrid, and live events. Learn more at eventowl.com. Thanks for joining us and enjoy this episode of the Tallahassee Business Podcast.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Sue Dick with the Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce. It's great to be here today with Sammie Dixon of Prime Meridian Bank. Sammie, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Sue, for having me today.
Well, this is exciting. You know, I feel like and you probably feel the same way, that we probably see each other every day and spend about 16 hours a day together, but that's strictly because of your leadership and your extreme involvement in our community and trying to make our community advance to the levels that we all want, along with what you are doing there at Prime Meridian Bank. So for the listeners who might not be following the story over the last 13 years, maybe if you can introduce yourself and talk about Prime Meridian Bank and why this community is so important to you.
Well, thank you, Sue. Having the opportunity to start a bank in town and getting to deal with our clients and prospects, you get a unique vision of what this community could accomplish. It means a lot to me. I'll reference Godfrey Smith that if you build a strong economy, then you can build a strong bank. And it's not just a bank, it's every other business in town. And being involved with the chamber has given us a lot of exposure to people we might not otherwise have been around. And by doing that, you get to see much closer all of the issues that need solutions for. And helping the bank grow is solving some of these solutions. And with what we're doing, the work at the chamber, it only benefits the bank and everybody else in town. So spending those hours, like you said, I don't know about 14 hours a day, but having the opportunity to work with you and Jay Smith and the chamber team and our board and all of our members has been a really good experience.
Well, Sammie, we appreciate it. You sit in the seat as chairman-elect, so you will take over as chairman of the chamber in January. But you also sit as chair of our Business Advocacy Committee, which is a very diverse group of individuals and in a committee that has a very strong mission. And I'd love to hear your perspective on why the work of the Advocacy Committee is so important and the different areas that through your leadership we're trying to touch and make an impact for our community.
Well, Sue, last week we had the opportunity to advocate for the Northeast Gateway. And we've had the opportunity to advocate for Florida State, for FAMU, and all of these projects. This is an opportunity for the chamber to have a voice for the business community. And one thing I'm very proud of, not one entity in this town can solve the situation, solve the issues that we have. On the Northeast Gateway, there was a opinion piece penned, and for the first time, you had the Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, you had the Capital City Chamber of Commerce, you had the Big Bend Minority Chamber of Commerce, and NEBA all signing the same document. That is exciting to me to be able to say, okay, our community is coming together, at least the business community is coming together to help grow. And the focus that we have at our chamber Business Advocacy Committee is to help orchestrate all of these coalitions, going through, talking about the issues, what we need to get involved with, what we don't, because it's kind of like a culture for a company. You're going to have one whether you want it or not. So you better be deliberate in what you're trying to accomplish. And that's what we're doing at the BAC committee.
Well, and I think that's so important. And there will be many more issues for our community. And we like to call them opportunities through your leadership at the Business Advocacy Committee. We're trying to work and project and forecast those opportunities that as a community, we can all get around and embrace. And and recognize that we want to make an impact on our poverty rate, our kindergarten readiness, job creation, and the rollout this year of the community scorecard, I think, is very important and helps us in staying focused in that. We sit here, it's close to 6 weeks away from our chamber, our annual community conference. I want to thank you and Prime Meridian Bank. You all are the presenting sponsor for that conference. We were not able to hold our conference last year, unfortunately, but the response for this year has been very, very strong. We're almost sold out. I think it's important maybe for our listeners to understand why you and your team members at Prime Meridian see a value in being supportive of that conference and what you hope will come out of that as we get ready for the last quarter of our calendar year.
So we believe in the conference very much. I've attended every conference since I moved to town in 2005. And it gives you the opportunity to see people you might not otherwise see or meet. It's a great business development opportunity. It's a great way to touch our existing clientele. It's an opportunity to bring a lot of the business owners and leaders in this community together to talk about the issues. And the fact that I've had people, ask me in the past, well, why do you go out of town? Well, we all know that when you have it in town, somebody's going to run out and run to a meeting. They might get caught up and not come back. This gives an opportunity over a weekend to bring a lot of the community together to build friendships, relationships. Having the opportunity just to talk is important. And the most important thing within Prime Meridian Bank is communication. And that is the same for our community. We have to communicate, and having the opportunity to listen to different views from different people helps us to articulate a better message as a community. And we have talked in the past of what is the vision for Tallahassee and what would the brand be? Well, having the opportunity to have so many people come together in one spot truly helps drive a discussion that would not otherwise be had. So that's the reason we made the investment in being the presenting sponsor, because we believe this conference is extremely important. And I would encourage anyone who is not signed up to call the chamber, talk with them about rooms are running out on site. So there are other rooms in or on Amelia Island, but I truly believe, I use the barometer of my teammates. And as we bring on new folks and they go for the first time, it's like, wow, we did not realize we had all the human capital that we do in our community. And it's just putting and exhibiting it at one time for everyone to see. So it is extremely important, in my opinion.
Well, Sammie, thank you. And we truly value and appreciate your support of that, as we do all of the sponsors that support the programs of the chamber. We cannot do what we try to do via our board's leadership and our business community's leadership without support, both in membership and in sponsorship opportunities. As we wrap up, you've obviously done a successful job in growing your team there and the culture within Prime Meridian Bank. What would you like to communicate to the community as a whole, as we are now thankfully putting COVID behind us, and as we are all working so very hard for the future of our community? What would be your message to your fellow Tallahasseans and individuals in the region?
We can start by finding a common ground on things that we can work with each other. We've got to get our crime rate down. We've got to work on poverty. I mean, I credit Jay Smith with his leadership pushing the scorecard. People say, well, it's just a scorecard. Well, no, it's a report card that you get to see what's changing and what's being affected. And, you go back to kindergarten readiness, third grade reading scores, graduation rate. There's a lot that can be seen in that, because we need a future workforce. And I'll quote Steve Evans that we don't necessarily right now have a jobs problem. Today, we have a skills problem. So by us having the communication and the dialogue to develop the vision for where we want to go, that's what we've got to do. And I'd also like to say that if you feel as if at times things aren't moving or complaining or things of that nature about anything, well, you can never make a difference unless you get involved. And I would encourage all of you to get more involved. Sue's always willing to accept a phone call on how to get people involved. Corey Melton, Dana Knowles, being able to communicate with them. They might not have the answer, but they might know the person that you can talk with within our community to find your passion. And that is extremely important. So with our issues, our opportunities, it's going to take each and every one of us in this community to move forward.
Well, Sammie, that's a great stopping point for us. Well said, and thank you again. It's a pleasure to work with you. I know we're gearing up for summer and everybody's keeping busy, so thank you for all that you do. Safety to you and your family, and I hope you have a great summer.
Sue, thank you. It's a pleasure working with you and the entire chamber team. And again, I hope all of you out there have a wonderful summer, and I truly hope to see you at the Chamber Conference.
Thank you, Sammie.
Thank you, ma'am.